Butterfly, fly here with me.
Welcome to the bedroom. Well, I am officially 40 years old. It was my birthday yesterday, and in spite of all, we never know where we're going to be in life every year. But when you hit a milestone like 40, um, you know, I guess I remember being a kid, sort of thinking, oh, maybe one day I'll work all this stuff out, all my questions, and have all the answers. And the reality is, I've reached 40. I still don't know how all the answers. I still have many more questions every time I do get maybe an answer. Um, but actually, I think really what the question really is about most of the time, if we're honest, it is like, why am I important? Why am I worth being alive for? And what is the reason for being alive? Why was I born? Surely there was a purpose, a grand scheme. Well, people would say, no, there weren't no grand scheme. You just popped out. Make the most of it. But actually, if you really think about it, actually, there's always a reason. There's always a reason why you came actually into being. It might not necessarily God created life, by miracle for you to be born, to have this profound impact on the world that we sometimes associate with a special birth, a chosen one. And yet, actually, the reality is most people were born for a reason and came into being through some event. Um, and ultimately, my story, I came into being because my mum and dad were married and they loved each other. Quite clearly, certainly enough to at least spend one night getting cozy. So the purpose, and as far as I'm aware, they're pretty happy with how it turned out. And I think that is why it's important. I have children now of my own, and actually, sometimes it's an ironic, not an ironic thing, but really yesterday, when you're a child, you want to get all the gifts to feel important, or feel special, whatever. But yesterday, what made me feel special, or what makes me feel special or important every day, is the fact that actually I am a father, and it's not so much the gifts they give; it's the fact that knowing they love me and they feel loved, and they might not always be able to articulate that. My most beloved of daughter was spent most of the day poking me and telling me I'm old and ugly and all that kind of stuff. But I can see deep down inside, it's just another expression of undying love for her dad. And currently she can't really. She's suddenly gone into a phase where she doesn't want to cuddle me directly, so she therefore ends up headbutting my chest. I have made this aware to her, and so hopefully maybe she can just start asking for cuddles instead of needing to headbutt me, to have some kind of physical contact of reassurance. But actually, no. If we do really think about it, I think you know, you hear many stories how people came to being, um, and I think there's always a reason actually. But most of the importance actually comes from the relationships, the family you're born into, how that works out, or if that hasn't worked out, and for whatever reasons your birth family has been sort of divided and split up, you often find you become a family somewhere. You become friends to a deep level somewhere. And if you don't find that, it's normally the absence of that that is the thing that's hard, because actually you feel like you do and should have that, and I think everyone should have that. But sometimes it's hard with all the pain that we experience and the emotional challenges that that experience can have, of rejection, separation, all this kind of stuff can have on making those bonds again. Um, and I think that's again echoes the importance of who we are, and I don't think it's just a kind of wanting a divine or life purpose from a dream. I think it's actually part of our nature to be in relationship with other people. And sometimes with the culture around us, some relationships can get put up above other relationships or all that kind of stuff. But actually I think if any relationship is genuine, sincere, and a kind persuasion towards you in wanting to stick by you through it all, I think is actually really the hope in all the other relationships. If it's our parents, we want our parents to be there 100%. That's what we're hoping for. If we're in a friendship, we want those friendships to be 100% genuine. If we do find love with somebody, like a lover, and go into marriage or anything like that, you want 100% genuineness from those people. So actually it comes back to the same place of having someone that is 100% for you no matter what. And for me as a Christian, I feel I get 100% love at least from life, God itself. God himself, the very source of life, there 100% for me, however my life rolls out and works out. And on a good day, I'm thankful for what life brings about, and on a bad day, I'm still thankful for the fact I'm still alive and working it out. And however painful and grueling it might get, there is always hope, and there's always a chance for things to turn around. And that's a beautiful idea, I think. And actually, I think anyone who finds that kind of feeling in anywhere is a good thing. Right, here's the phone's ringing, so I'm just going to get that. So I think love is a very important thing, and with our relationships ever evolving in a natural course of life, rolling itself out, I think often really I find for me it's continuously finding that love, that consistent love, and actually not necessarily finding it from other people, but continuously trying to find again my ability to be that for other people in all relationships and friendships and all of that jazz. And you can't be perfect. You can't be everything to everybody. You can't be 100% on the nose at the right time per se, because we can all have bad days. Our energy levels rise and they fall, and our emotions are being worked at every day, and we have to let those emotions out and work those things out somehow. And sometimes we can let them out constructively, sometimes we can just explode and often damage people around us in that moment, or risk damaging people around us in that moment if they don't understand and struggle with that. But in me understanding these things can help me, if somebody lets out on me, to try not to take the obvious bait and actually try and return kindness and care as best I can every day. We can't be perfect, but we can do our best, and we can not give up. If we have a bad day, we can get up the next day and start afresh. And it's brilliant, and I had a lovely day yesterday, and it's because I found love. Love is the purpose. Love seems to be the key. This thing called love that seems to be vastly expansive. I remember looking at the word love in the dictionary when I was like 23 and reading the definition, and it seemed to sound very much the same as the word lust. It was all about sex and intensity of relationship. It was all about kind of wanting something from somebody, passion, kind of very passion driven, which is not necessarily wrong. It's a normal good thing. It's what leads to many families being made, that passion for somebody and that intense feeling for somebody. But the problem I found is I felt that definition was very, very limited. And sort of going one way, it's like to feel loved, I've got to get what I want. Whereas I've always felt a big part of love is about giving people what they need, or giving others maybe what they want in order to show them what they need, which is your love and your care, regardless whether they pay you back or not. Selfless love. But I did a bit of a Wikipedia search yesterday, or a Google meaning on the word love, and today there is a lot more to the definition of love that's been put into these ways we can learn about our language and learn about these concepts. And I was greatly encouraged to see a big difference in how love is said to be in our world by the kind of educational sort of supply we have. And the understanding of love is a lot more broader, and there's been a lot more studies into the nature of this emotional bond we build with people in all relationships, and how we can best serve those relationships. And as a foster carer and as an adoptive parent, the use of love for as a therapy is important. And actually it's one of those things. Actually, that journey I had only highlighted what everyone needs. It's not that my children are any different from anyone else. Actually, everyone needs this therapeutic care. Everyone needs this love, this constant love. And particularly if any relationships do change, because sometimes if we have built strong emotional ties to anybody, if those relationships change under any circumstances of life, it can be really brutal on our emotions and be very hard to see a new future. And yet love is available, I believe, for all of us. And I think God, that I understand, seems to be encouraging this 100%. This love, it seems to be the way out of a lot of our difficulties, but it's very hard to sometimes enact because of our emotions, and sometimes hurt love can turn to anger, and unquenched anger can turn to hate, and long-term hate can turn you bitter, and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes we need to let go of those feelings. We have to acknowledge them and let them go in order for new love and new life and new care and new kindness to come forward. I don't know, I'm probably waffling. But this is what I feel is important, and this is what makes me important. It's important that I love other people and care about other people, and it's important that I feel loved. And what I've found is if everybody around me seems to be lacking in love, I can take the pressure off them by letting life love me. God himself maybe loving me. Is that even an idea? Because that's the idea I contend with. Whenever I feel, unloved, I'm like, yeah, but look at how life is. Yeah, it's not always been peachy cream, but actually, right now, in this moment, I have love, and if life took it all the way tomorrow, I would know how to make that love come back. Because sometimes love is found, and it's wonderful when it finds you, and you find yourself with love, however that is. Yet I've learnt that you can carve love out of anywhere. By being kind and caring, you can build community around you, you can build a family. And in the Bible, there's two ways to make a family. One is through sex, which is wonderful, and those, eternal bonds of old that have joint women and men and divided women and men likewise sometimes. But yet another way of building a family is through sacrifice. And yes, Jesus gave his life in the sacrifice of death, but the idea is very clear that we don't have to do the same. That our sacrifice or our giving up of ourselves is a living thing. It's like we give up our hurt and our pain to forgiveness. We give up our past successes or failures in order to live in the moment now. We can create family by giving ourselves freely, regardless. And if our heart is drawn to care for someone or a group of people, or that we can be free and confident that we have the ability within us to do that. And even though I ponder these things, many people just get on and do it. Yeah, I'm a musician. Yeah, I'm somebody that overly thinks this stuff, takes this stuff way too seriously. But actually, every time I take it seriously, I realise I don't have to take anything seriously. Because love being serious enables you to be free on all other fronts. If I know I'm loved, I don't have to be so upset if somebody lets out on me, because I know I'm still important and it isn't so personal. And even if it is personal, I can still not let it take away from who I am. In fact, I've got a moment to show who I am by letting that person share their feelings, however hard or difficult, in order for the relationship to move forward freely. However that relationship's got to be. If there's got to be changes of statuses, that's fine. But this 100% love can be in any relationship. So, and one of the best of these is friends. Friendship is a wonderful thing. Friendship is the family you choose freely. And it's a brilliant idea that we can actually make these heart bonds that don't require 24/7 presence per se, but can be 100% present in the rest of our lives if we hold care, concern, shared care and concern, and openness to these people that we feel drawn to. I don't feel like we've got to be the best friend to everybody, but I think there's plenty of people around that if a heart feels drawn, Or, you know, the old thing of, you know, if you see someone lonely, who's definitely alone, actually you can be the person to come in and show care and kindness. This is what's important. Love, real love, sets people free, and real love can be found and placed into any relationship. Real, selfless, 100% heart intent on somebody else's well-being, and we can do that. I think half our struggle is that we've maybe given up faith, not necessarily in God and life that we've come to be, however that is, but in the fact that we've given up on our ability to give this. We've succumbed to the idea that anger and hate and passion, one way or another, has to drive everything else. But actually, maybe loyalty and care and kindness should be keeping our anger or our frustrations in check. You know, anyway, but, you know, got some gifts I was given. I like this one. Somebody knows that I want to sing more music, and I want to write more songs, even though I've probably written a gazillion. You know, Star Wars cards, Star Wars trainers here, and I write those. And I was quite surprised with this card. I thought it was going to be a joke. It says, "Daddy, you are funny, strong, clever, brave." And I thought, just because my kids would probably have a joke inside saying, "And you're fat." But actually it doesn't. It says, "Have an amazing birthday." So yeah, I was quite surprised by that one. I was expecting to, you know, get a joke at my expense. But no. And all the guitars. Some homemade art from my artist. Resident artist. A beer joke about non-alcoholic beer. I don't mind non-alcoholic beer. The idea that I can sit down and have a beer, if I have to have one, is nice, because it normally only happens if it's quiet, and it's a nice moment. Oh, I love this here. The reason why I like this is I love doing creative writing at school, but I wasn't really very good with my spelling and my grammar back at the time. But a few years ago I did retake my English GCSE to try and improve the mark I had got, and in the process really got into creative writing, and, you know, started writing a few books and stuff, or having a go at it, and, you know, I think I've got some good stuff potentially, if ever I can finalise it all. But I started writing a series of kids books or poems, and the first one was The Boy Who Flew. It's about the idea of a boy having a dream, or an adult, you know, maybe a pilot who dreamed of flying as a kid, and that dream became a reality in real life because he had that childhood dream, and that is brilliant. And I hope maybe my dream can come true, being a good person, and hope that nobody ever gets me to persuade me not to do that. And also the dream of, you know, wanting to just write songs for myself or anyone to sing, songs of hope, songs of reality, where the dream is still real and still believed in. And yeah, you're a great dad. Well, I've still got to prove myself, because there's a long way to go being a dad yet. I've only just begun to hit teenage years. So, but here we go. Here's a cup of love, peace, and it's full of hearts and stars. I say full, it's about half full. But I'm definitely an optimist. But yet, I have as an artist and a songwriter, I have a habit of looking at the other side as well. Star Wars shoes. Cool. Some hot chocolate and marshmallows. I really like to look at this one. I could really do that. But I think I might give it away actually. Someone needs encouraging to believe in their dreams. Cool. Well, that's me. And yeah, I've got a little song I wrote a while back called Let This Be. And it's about purely the difference love makes to me. And yeah, enjoy. And enjoy looking at the big lovely birthday cake that a neighbour made for me. It's brilliant. Amazing. See you later. I'm going to drink my coffee. Maybe try on my shoes. See you later.
Love, look what you've done for me. It's all that I dreamed would be. This man's all he's meant to be. All my life, let this be. Let this be. Love, look what you've done for me. The gift that you gave to me. For this love has just set me free. All my life, let this be. Let this be. Love, look what you've done for me. The peace that you've given me. You calm me in the roughest sea. All my life, let this be. Let this be. Love, look what you've done for me. It's all that I dreamed would be. This man's all he's meant to be. All my life, let this be. All my life, let this be. Let this be. Let this be. You were always meant to be free.